Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm here again with some more of
Jacob's Nintendo History Lessons.
This video is going to focus more on the negative aspect of Nintendo's decisions during the 1990s, and it's all about how they lost Squaresoft or Square or Square Electronic Arts, whatever you want to call them, I don't care. For those of you out there who do not know, but I'm sure most of you already do, Square merged with Enix in 2003 to create Square Enix. Now that we have the obvious out of the way, let's actually get to the juiciness. So Squaresoft, as many of you know, was a juggernaut with RPGs in the late 80s all the way throughout the 1990s, and they have created some of the most memorable and innovative games in the genre of all time, ranging from games like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Kingdom Hearts, and even that one collaboration with Nintendo on the Super NES to form Super Mario RPG The Legend of the Seven Stars, and that's what you guys are watching right now. Many of their games are some of my personal favorites of all time, and it's hard to just not like them, or at least the old them. And I'm still a huge Square Enix fan, but they're basically just a shadow of their former 90s selves. I'm just saying. But anyway, many of you guys out there are aware of the tale of the creation of the PlayStation, correct? Nintendo had a partnership with Sony and it didn't work out, yada yada yada, and the PlayStation was born. Let's move on that. Take a look at your newborn Nintendo, and please don't abandon it like many atrocious fathers out there. So, what happened from here on out was a series of events that ultimately led to Nintendo's struggle with gaining third-party support, and their biggest loss, you guessed it, Squaresoft. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be doing this video. So Squaresoft had created many RPG exclusives to Nintendo systems up until around 1996, I believe, and then their vision for what they wanted Final Fantasy VII to be was being hindered by one major problem, and that was just the Nintendo 64's hardware. And what was wrong with the hardware was actually really quite simple. The Nintendo 64 used cartridges, which, to sum it up quite simply, it didn't provide as much storage space as a CD-ROM did. And the PlayStation and Sega Saturn had adopted this model of game development, while Nintendo seemed to be stuck in the past. And in the end, this really hurt the Nintendo 64 because it didn't get that much third-party support compared to its competition, and that was weird because the NES and the Super Nintendo got tons and tons of it. The 64 cartridge was also way more expensive to develop for, and Squaresoft really wanted to push the boundaries with Final Fantasy VII, and they needed the hardware to provide as much memory as possible at the time because they wanted pre-rendered backgrounds, they wanted animated cutscenes, and slightly more realistic-looking models during battle than the Nintendo 64 could provide. This is not to say that the 64 was underpowered, its power was just channeled in a different direction, and an all-polygonal Final Fantasy is not really what Square wanted. So then they decided to end the partnership with Nintendo and move every single one of their projects over to the PlayStation. And because of this decision, Squaresoft was able to churn out more innovative and different titles than ever before. And the PlayStation really moved the development of video games along, and it's really hard to say that a game like Final Fantasy VII didn't change the industry quite a bit, and it's something that really began appealing to the masses and boosted game and hardware sales by an extraordinary amount. It's really what solidified and made the Japanese RPG a huge genre over here in the West. And I'm sure there are other games that helped out a lot with that, but this game is the one that really changed the mind of many people out there. Now, that's not to say that Nintendo 64 had absolutely no games. It had incredible games, and I'm personally really happy with my collection. I actually have a pretty decent sized Nintendo 64 collection, but one has to wonder how much different Nintendo would be today with third-party support if they had kept full support from companies like Squaresoft, Namco, and Capcom. If they did adopt those practices at the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn, then maybe they would have kept a lot of that third-party support, and maybe they wouldn't be in the situation they're in today with third-party support. So anyway, guys, what'd you think about the video? Leave all your comments below. Are you a huge fan of Squaresoft or Square Enix, whatever you want to call them? I don't care. So leave all that below, and I look forward to your guys' answers. Good job! You made it to the end of the video, so now it's time for the random question of the video. I tried to make that sound epic, but it didn't. It failed. So I just wanted to ask, what is something that you guys really enjoy collecting? I know it's kind of random, but obviously it's a random question of the video, so that's perfectly fine. I can ask that. Lately, I've really been getting into collecting Blu-rays. I'm pretty much looking for any Blu-ray deal I can find, and I'm always buying them. On my monthly pickup videos, they're always up there, so yeah, I guess that's something that I collect quite frequently. Okay, I look forward to your guys' answers. Drop them below, and I will see you guys next time.